The ridiculous decision, in my opinion, for LSU to mandate vaccines or negative COVID tests for those ages 12 or older. Let me just start here. Regardless of what you think about health, anyone who has ever tried to get into a 100,000 seat stadium in the SEC knows that it is pure bedlam in terms of trying to get in the stadium just to get the tickets taken. Whenever there is a major event, like the President of the United States is going to be there, like was the case a couple of years ago for the game between LSU and Alabama down in Tuscaloosa, it's madness even more because you add a new wrinkle to an already strained process of entering the stadium. So regardless of what you think about health-related conditions, people are going to be packed at LSU Stadium, and you're going to be asking ticket takers who are often strained just to be checking tickets, to be checking negative COVID tests, and also to be seeing whether or not people have vaccines. I just think it is a recipe for disaster. I don't think very many other SEC schools are going to do this because many states in the SEC already have disallowed vaccine passports. And it's not a coincidence that Louisiana has a Democratic governor and that Kentucky has a Democratic governor. And those are the two most restrictive states when it comes so far to behavior in the South. Already, the Delta variant appears to have crested in much of the South, and the numbers are going to come down. And now you're going to see the numbers rise substantially in the Midwest and the Northeast as it gets cooler somewhat in the South into September and October. The Delta variant will recede, I hope. And what you're going to see is that virus spread into the Midwest and the Northeast, upon which time a lot of people will stop discussing the masks and vaccines and everything else. But I think this is a poor decision by LSU. I don't think it's going to encourage anyone. And purely from a business perspective, they already told season ticket holders that they would not have any restrictions for this year's football season. And now they're suddenly deciding to drop this on the season ticket holders a couple of weeks before. And many of you, I think, are likely to see this as being connected to the New Orleans Saints, who are making the same decision in New Orleans. I think there's a decent chance that Louisiana is the only place in the South that's going to require it. Maybe the University of Kentucky would. I think it's possible that a school like Vanderbilt or Duke could interact and take this choice, but obviously those don't have big stadiums or massive fan bases. And it would be interesting because Vanderbilt sells most of its tickets to visiting fans. So, for instance, and I imagine Duke often does as well, how would that play with fans deciding whether or not to go into the stadium based on COVID policies there? I think it is really interesting to contemplate. And again, my point on this is, why would you have to require a negative COVID test or a COVID vaccine and not allow someone like me who already had COVID to be able to get in the stadium with a antibody test, which I already have, which proves that I have natural immunity to COVID, and it's probably, according to many studies, stronger than actually vaccinated immunity. So I don't agree with the LSU decision. I don't think that very many other SEC schools are going to follow it as it pertains to getting into and out of the stadium.